Bruce Lee steps into an elevator on the 14th floor of a Hong Kong office building when three men step in behind him and the doors close. What happens over the next 14 floors does not just get Bruce Lee to the lobby. It becomes the reason these men never step into an elevator the same way again. Hong Kong, July 1972, Wednesday evening, 6:45 p.m. The Peninsula office tower, a glass and steel building in Tsim Sha Tsui. 14 floors of lawyers and accountants and import-export companies. The kind of building where money moves quietly and no one asks too many questions. Bruce Lee has just finished a meeting on the 14th floor, a contract negotiation for an upcoming film. His second feature, the sequel to The Big Boss. The producers want changes. Bruce wants control. They argued for 2 hours. Nobody won. They will argue again tomorrow. He is tired. Not physically, mentally. Tired of fighting for every detail. Tired of people who see him as a product instead of an artist. Tired of suits telling him what audiences want when they have never thrown a punch in their lives. He presses the elevator button, loosens his tie, black suit, white shirt, dressed for business, not for fighting, but Bruce Lee is always dressed for fighting. His body does not know how to be anything else. The elevator arrives, empty. Bruce steps in, presses L for lobby. The doors begin to close. A hand stops them. 3 men step in. The first is tall, 6'1", lean, sharp face, wearing a gray suit that does not quite fit. His eyes scan Bruce. Quick assessment. Predator eyes. The second is shorter, 5'9", but wide, thick through the chest and shoulders. Now the build of someone who carries heavy things for a living, or hits heavy things. The third stays by the door. Average height, average build. But his right hand stays in his jacket pocket. The pocket hangs heavy. Something in there, something metal. The doors close. 14th floor, descending. The tall one speaks first. Cantonese. Low voice, meant only for this small space. Bruce Lee, the movie star, alone in an elevator. No cameras, no stunt team, just you and us. Bruce does not respond. Watches the floor numbers. 13, 12. The tall one continues. Mr. Fang sends his regards. You owe Mr. Fang money. Production fees. Location fees. Fees you agreed to pay and then refused. Bruce knows the name. Fang Wei. A businessman connected to the triads. Loaned money to the production of The Big Boss. When the film made millions, Fang wanted a bigger cut. Bruce refused. Said a deal is a deal. Fang disagreed. I do not owe Mr. Fang anything beyond what was agreed. The contract is clear. 11th floor. The tall one smiles. Contracts. You think contracts matter here. This is Hong Kong. Mr. Fang does not care about contracts. He cares about respect. You disrespected him. 10th floor. The wide one cracks his knuckles. A deliberate sound in the small space. The man by the door shifts his weight. His hand tightens around whatever is in his pocket. Bruce reads the geometry of the elevator. Small space, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet. 4 men inside. Limited movement. No room for kicks, no room for spinning. Close quarters only. Elbows, palms, knees. The kind of fighting most people never train for. Most people. Bruce has trained for exactly this. A 9th floor. The tall one steps closer. Here is what is going to happen. You are going to agree to Mr. Fang's terms. Double the original fee. You are going to shake my hand, and we are going to walk out of this elevator as friends. And if I refuse? The tall one glances at the man by the door. The man pulls his hand slightly from his pocket. The glint of a knife handle. Then we have 9 more floors to convince you. 8th floor. Bruce looks at the tall one, then the wide one, then the man with the knife. 3 men. Small space, metal weapon. He calculates. Not the odds. The sequence. The knife is the priority. Neutralize the weapon first. The wide one is the muscle. Second. The tall one is the mouth. Last. He will not fight. He gives orders. 7th floor. Bruce speaks. You have made a mistake. The tall one laughs. We have made a mistake. There are 3 of us. 1 of you. In a box with no exit. The mistake is not the numbers. The mistake is the elevator. What? You think this small space gives you an advantage. 3 against 1. Nowhere to run. The tall one grins. That is exactly what it gives us. 6th floor. Bruce shakes his head. In open space you could surround me. Attack from 3 angles. Use distance. In here you are stacked. Single file. You cannot all reach me at once. This elevator does not trap me with you. It traps you with me. The grin fades. 5th floor. The man by the door pulls the knife. Short blade. 4 inches. Enough to kill in close quarters. Bruce moves. 5th floor. The knife comes first. The man lunges forward. In open space, the lunge might work. In the elevator, there is nowhere to extend. Bruce catches the wrist. It twists. The anatomy of the wrist does not allow resistance at this angle. The knife drops. Bruce's palm strikes the man's chin. Short, sharp, upward. The man's head snaps back, hits the elevator wall. He slides down. Out. 4th floor. The wide one charges. In the small space, he cannot build momentum. 2 steps is all he gets. Bruce meets him at step 1, elbow to the sternum. The wide one's breath explodes out. His diaphragm locks. Bruce's knee comes up, catches the man's lowering chin. Not hard. Precise. The wide one drops sideways, hits the wall, slumps to the floor, conscious but unable to move. 3rd floor. The tall one is pressed against the back wall. Nowhere to go. His 2 enforcers are on the floor. The knife is by Bruce's foot. The tall one's confidence is gone. His hands come up. Palms out. Surrender. Wait. Wait. We can talk about this. 2nd floor. Bruce steps over the wide one. Stands in front of the tall one. Close. Too close. The tall one can smell Bruce's cologne. Can see the calm in his eyes. The terrifying calm of someone who just disabled 2 men in the time it takes an elevator to drop 3 floors. Tell Mr. Fang the contract stands. The original terms, not $1 more. The tall one nods rapidly, and tell him the next men he sends should take the stairs. 1st floor. Lobby. The doors open. Bruce straightens his tie, steps over the 2 men on the floor, walks out of the elevator. The lobby is busy. Business people heading home. Security guard at the desk reading a newspaper. Nobody sees anything unusual. Just a man in a black suit walking calmly toward the exit. Behind him in the elevator, 3 men remain. One unconscious against the wall. One gasping for air on the floor. One standing with his hands still raised in surrender, wondering what just happened. The doors close on them. The elevator stays on the lobby floor. Someone presses the button. The doors open. A woman in a business suit sees 3 men in various states of distress. She takes the stairs. Bruce walks to his car, a black Mercedes parked on the street. Gets in. Sits for a moment. His hands are steady. His breathing is normal. His suit is not even wrinkled. He drives home. Linda has dinner waiting. Brandon and Shannon are already in bed. He eats quietly. Does not mention the elevator. Does not mention Mr. Fang. Does not mention the knife, or the 3 men, or the 14 floors that changed nothing about his evening. Linda asks how the meeting went. Productive. No, we still have details to work out. That is all. That is enough. 2 days later, Fang Wei calls Bruce directly. His voice is different. The arrogance gone, replaced by something that sounds like caution. Mr. Lee, I believe there was a misunderstanding about our arrangement. There was no misunderstanding. The contract is clear. Yes, the contract. Of course, the original terms are acceptable. Bruce hangs up. That is the end of it. The tall one quits working for Fang the next week. Tells his friends about the elevator. About the movie star who dismantled 3 men between floors. About the eyes that showed no fear in a space with no escape. He says one thing that gets repeated across Hong Kong. We thought we trapped him. He thanked us for it. Said the elevator trapped us with him. He was right. I have never been more afraid in my life. Not of what he did, of how calm he was while doing it. Years later, the story becomes legend in Hong Kong. The elevator fight, 3 men, 14 floors. The movie star who was more dangerous in a small space than most men are in an open field. People ask Bruce about it. He shrugs. Small spaces remove options. When you remove options, you remove confusion. The elevator made the fight simple. They could only come one at a time. One at a time, I can handle anyone. He pauses. The real question is not how I won. The real question is why they thought a smaller space would help them against someone who trains for exactly that. What space are you trapped in right now? What situation feels like there is no way out? Maybe the walls are not trapping you. Maybe they are removing the distractions. Maybe the tight space is not your prison. It is your advantage. Bruce Lee did not need room to fight. He needed less room. Less room meant less noise. Less noise meant more clarity. More clarity meant 3 men on the floor before the elevator reached the lobby. 14 floors. 3 men. 1 lesson. The space that traps you might be the space that saves you. It depends on what you have trained for.